Welcome to Damsels in Dialogue, a podcast dedicated to female protagonists in fiction, film, and the stage. Co-hosted by India Marie Paul
and Katie Zutter. For the end of our third season, we are hosting our second annual Maiden Madness tournament. This year, our March Madness-style competition puts the supportive sweethearts of Disney and Pixar animation head-to-head to see who will wear the crown.
This episode, our remaining sweethearts are put to the test to see just how supportive they are. 16 enter, and only the Elite 8 shall remain. This is Maiden Madness.
Guys, we are here. It is the Sweet 16. I know we had an upset last week.
Oh, don't remind me. It was still very sad. I'm still recovering from Flynn being kicked out round one.
I also thought he would make it farther before I actually did the rubrics. So
yeah.
There's that. So this week we are narrowing it down from the Sweet 16. Both sides today. So
ready.
Will there be upsets this week? Let's find out.
Probably. We're going to be testing them on the supportive part of our rubric. So forgot to do this last time, so I'm going to do it this time. Here are some of the categories. These are out of 5. We're going to do they admit fault? Do they give space and agency to the sweetheart? Do they call out sexism? Listen and acknowledge women? Do they not exist to solely be the love interest or object? That is also from last year, and I'm very happy that we kept it.
Yeah, I agree.
Are they emotionally available? Does the relationship grow, or do we see them fall in love? Is their ego fragile? Do they celebrate their sweetheart's success? Are they caring towards those who are important to the sweetheart?
I like that one a lot.
I like that one a lot, too. There's a lot of things I'm really happy to talk about with these men. I've never thought of some of these things for them. The relevance to today, and there's a couple pluses. The Bechdel test for the movie is also still a plus because that's super important. Their relationships with other women, are they positive? They get a +2 if so. Love at first sight is a -2. And if their only goal or aspiration is to marry sweethearts, it's a -2 as well. And there wasn't that many left in the Sweet 16. That was more of like the early princes, you know?
Yeah, that went really well. And I will say, just as a blanket statement for some of these characters that you may adore, we are basing this strictly off of supportive sweethearts.
Yes.
That does not mean your favorite hero is not heroic or doesn't deserve to be top hero. We are just, for this particular Maiden Madness, looking for supportive sweethearts.
Yeah, and this actually was a really cool rubric to make because we started a very long conversation about what it means to be supportive as a sweetheart and like as a significant other, and what it means to be a male ally. So it was very hard. So this isn't a perfect list by any means, but it's a good start. No. So if you need to figure out how to be a good male ally to women, this is a good start, I think.
Yeah.
Pay attention, friends.
Yes. And we're here to support you being supportive.
Yes. I love it.
We are going down, I believe, the left side of the bracket first. Yes. And then we will jump over to the right. So, India, who are we starting with?
We're starting off with one of our himbos who made it through from the polls, and that is David from Lilo and Stitch. And a wonderful surprise moving through the Sweet 16. Not a surprise. I wasn't overly surprised. I was impressed.
Honestly, I'm not impressed, to be honest. But I think that's because of his role. Felix, he, against, I think, most of the other competitors, especially from round 1, would have sailed through this. I think this is a tough competition with David. Yeah. Because Felix's whole job, his whole, from what we see, he spends the entire movie of Encanto supporting his wife.
That is very true. He is
not doing anything but supporting his wife or scolding his son. Those are the only two things that
and not
doing.
Like harshly, like just like being a good role
and
model.
Honestly, I would lose my mind if that was my son.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh my God. He's great.
That is very fair. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
he's really
great. He's great, but oh my gosh, that would drive me nuts if he could just like turn into me and mock me all day. Like that would I don't know how I would stand it.
I'm a little sad he ended up randomly against David because he just scored so high for me. And actually, my initial score, so we can talk it out, he's only 1 point less before we add on Patreon votes. Yeah, he's only 1 point less for me.
Wow. He is not 1 point less than David for me, but not much less than David. And he's actually, as far as just supportive of only these men, he's in second place.
You know, I think he might be for me too. Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, Felix has like 3 minutes of screen time and he is
so good. I mean,
what a quality gentleman.
I probably scored him a little too high on Admit's Fault, but I gave him a 5 purely for his line in Bruno.
He does. And he apologizes. He gets a little carried away.
But for the 4 minutes he's on screen, he completely admits fault.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And a lot of these main characters never say sorry.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. So I think I missed it. What did you give him overall?
I gave him a 53.
52.
Okay. And I gave David a 54, but I think he scored really low for me on Does Not Exist to Solely Be a Love Interest, because I really feel like he was put in the movie to solely be a love interest for Nani, but that might be too harsh.
I gave him Felix. You want to just like gush about Felix real quick before we just go into someone who we could actually like get into? Because I
give
feel like
Space Agency 5 for me.
Fine.
Yeah,
supportive. I gave him a 3 only because I feel like half his job is he needs to be around her, but that's not a negative thing. So maybe
space can be interpreted in multiple ways. You know, space could be true. Like space as in like you have the ability to speak if you wish space.
Well, I'm going to bump him up. So now we're at the same.
Okay.
Because that makes sense to me. I gave him, now for this round, friends, something that is different from previous ones. For this round, since these are much more specific questions, if it did not come up in the movie, we are not counting it against him. Unlike last week where, if we didn't get enough for you that it was like, you're not a nice person, like that's not good for you. But here, I gave them we flattened out as just an average, a 3 if you weren't even given the opportunity to do that. Now you can't score lower than a 3 if you were given the opportunity and you said absolutely not.
And you fail, yes.
So the lowest I gave him was see the relationship grow. But that's only because I gave him a 3.
Yeah. There's a couple people in this that I'm like, I don't see it grow. They're just already there.
Because they're already there.
Yeah.
They're there. And that's okay. Not a bad thing. Yeah. 5's ego not fragile. The amount of looks that she shoots him and he's like just there.
That is very, very fair.
Also, I gave the same reason for Celebrate Sweetheart Success because I love all the times in the movies that he's looking at her to make sure that she is enjoying the moment just as much as everyone else is. And I think that is really, really sweet. It's such a subtle way to support someone.
I very much enjoy that.
Caring towards those important to the sweetheart.
5.
5
does nothing but
5.
care for the family.
No. I mean, even the moments where he leaves Peppa, he's like twirling around Abuela.
Yep.
And talking to Mirabelle. He's dancing with his nieces. Like, he's singing with his brother-in-law who are both just the guys in this matriarch, living life.
I love it. He didn't get any negatives because there's no love at first sight. He's not just trying to get married like he already is. He got, the movie passes the Bechdel test. He has other positive female relationships, +2. And Patreon gave him a point. One of our patrons gave him a point. So he got one of those. He didn't win the social media poll, but he was really close. Like that was one of the closest polls we had. It was, I'll give you the percentage.
This is great.
It was 56% David and 44% Felix.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm unsurprised. These two, just because of how they are designed, I think just leads them to success. And I think if he was not up against David, he at least on this side of the booth, he would have knocked out any other person. At least on my sheet.
I agree. It was so hard. David,
so Felix gets honorable mention. Oh man, honorable mention of the year.
Honorable mention for Felix. He is a supportive sweetheart. And I'm sad to see him go. But
I know. But David is also David is built the same way. He's also built to be supportive of Nani. The only difference is he just is given more time. Honestly, because their family is smaller. Their family is Lilo, Nani, Stitch, and David.
It's like David is just so empathetic and is trying so hard to be supportive to Nani when she's trying to be a parent and she's still like a young adult.
And he's so understanding. Like when he gets turned down twice by her. He asks her out during the movie twice. Yes. You are led to believe that he has asked her out multiple times before this movie.
And not in a creepy way.
Not a creepy way.
Yeah.
And my favorite is the first time he's turned down. He asks her if she's free and he's like, no, she's exhausted. She's like, I've told you 1,000 times, like, I can't. I'm so sorry. Like, I really can't. Yeah. And his reaction, not only is it incredibly kind, but it's also followed up with, oh no, I just thought you needed a break.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with him. Like,
I wanted, like, I mean, obviously he wants to date her, but he's not like, I want some time.
Yeah.
It's he's like, truly, did you need a break?
Yeah. Nani never turns him down because she doesn't like him. It's just that she's exhausted. And
she's a lot to do.
His shining moment is when they've had the worst day ever, and he sees them on the beach, notices that they're both upset, and then takes them out surfing to make them feel better.
And he talks to both of them. What I love the most about that moment is he talks to both of them. And he actually says Lilo's name first.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, how's it going, Lilo? Nani. And notice how bummed Nani is as well. Yeah. Tells them this whole story. Speaks to both of them. Looks both in the eye.
Yeah.
But the last confirmation is, okay, is Nani going to approve of what we're doing because she
needs a break, and
she's the
parent. I'm gonna care for Lilo. Yeah. I'm gonna like Lilo is the one who's on his board. So like Nani gets a time to surf with just the first, Stitch.
Right? Exactly. When they first start even going out, they haven't even surfed yet. He makes an effort to reach over and scratch.
Yeah,
Stitch. He gives Stitch a little like ear scratch, which is just like, what the heck? But like, he's just such a caring, great person, and and the things that were hard that I just couldn't find for him that were NAs were admits fault, because what does he do wrong?
Other than he does burn down the hut.
He does light it on fire. He doesn't burn it down. He just lights it on fire. Which also I read something that was so funny, where it was like, he is set up at the beginning. When you first meet him, you're like, that's the male gaze. He's a hot guy. He is ripped.
He like screams. He does fire
He's
thingies.
Screaming. He's fire dancing. Yep. He's half naked.
Yep.
And then he is immediately turned to the female gaze by lighting the stage on fire. Yep. And like, he's like, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? He's like, no, I'm fine. I just lit the stage on fire. Like, I don't light myself on fire this time. It's fine. Like, and you immediately love him. Love him. And I think that leads to his ego. He's not fragile at all.
Oh, no.
0% fragile.
I think he's very emotionally available. That was one of the ones I'm like,
100%.
100% 5. Like, it's
he's
so
in
nice.
There, and he's so comfortably ready for her. He's disappointed that he can't have more alone time with Nani. Yeah. But he is never.
No, you never see him like going, oh, woe is me. Like, none of that shit.
No.
Like, it's.
And he's one of the few examples, Felix included, where you truly get to see how they treat people close to the sweetheart. Very few people got that opportunity.
Yeah.
And he is one of those, and both Felix and David are like 110% in it to win it, part of the family.
Yep. David got 3 Patreon votes and the social media votes. So he has a +4.
Wow.
to his score, giving him a 58 for me.
Yeah. He, for me, flat got 57.
That's amazing, and I do agree with that. Can we talk about how well Nani did last year? Like how their scores feel very similar.
How Lilo and Stitch, guys, is the movie to see. And also those two characters. Can we also talk about how those two characters are the ones? Those two actors, voice actors, are what help make this movie more real and more relatable and more grounded in the Hawaiian culture.
I think if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. And if you have, go rewatch it, because it holds up. Like it holds up so well. Relevance to today. I'm like, I would love a David. Thank you. Yeah. Just drop him off. Emotional support.
We will take him. Yes. Love.
David goes through, but man, Felix is good.
Felix, this is kind of a downer.
Yeah.
In one way, because I feel like he would have beat
anyone else
on this part of the bracket. Anyone else.
Yeah. So David is the first to make it into our Elite 8.
Yes. I see why you all voted him to pass straight here.
Yeah. But it was close. I was very surprised by social media.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Of anyone to give him a run for his money. Yeah, Felix was the one to do it.
That was great. Next up, we have, I'm really interested in this one. We have
too.
Pacha from The Emperor's New Groove, and we have Prince Adam from Beauty and the Beast. How did they compare for you?
Let me see. So, Prince Adam for me versus Pacha. Guys, I have Pacha beating him by a significant amount.
I have a very significant amount going to Pacha.
I have over 10 more.
I have 12.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh man. And 13. I have 13. Oh, we are on this same brainwave. Well, so then who do we talk about first? Do we talk about Adam just to say
let's talk about
RIP
Adam because the Beast had a lot going against him in the movie with his temper and his anger. Like, he grows. He grows.
If we want to talk about the most growth in a film and the person who's come the farthest and everything, I mean, he is easily top 2, if not top. Like, and that's his journey. His story is the journey to get to who he is today. Yeah, it is not being a supportive sweetheart. Yeah, you know.
And he was one of the few people who got a -2 for me on only goal aspiration was to marry her.
Oh,
like that's his sole goal.
Wow, I did not put a -2 only because at the point of the movie that we're at, I know the spell has it. That's the only reason I didn't give it to him. Because at the point of the movie, he has resigned himself to be dead. And he is not good about trying to get her on his side. Like, it's very
that's fair.
Half-baked.
I can see that going either way.
Yes. Agree. Okay. Absolutely agree.
Mm-hmm. The relationship does grow. Yeah. I did give him a 5 for that because I do feel like we see him fall in love with her in Beauty and the Beast. So that was the only 5 he got from me.
Passes the Bechdel test.
Oh, he does get a +5.
Those are the only 2 5s.
Yep.
For me, I agree. And that's not a bad thing. He honestly scored a lot of average. He didn't score anything above a 3 other than that because that's the whole point. At the beginning of the movie, he's a terrible human being. And at the end of the movie, he's a great human being. Yeah. And that's like the whole point. Looking at this, I think I scored him too low on caring towards those important sweetheart. I gave him a 1. I think he deserved a 2.
That's fair. I gave him a 3, but I do see it maybe being a 2 because like the balance of like throwing dad away versus like going to save dad was
just because we don't see what happens after. We don't know what happens after, but we do see him let her go to him. Yeah. I did give him a 2 for other positive female relationships because as much as his servants sometimes cause him annoyance at most, he listens to Mrs. Potts.
He does. I gave him that too.
Because there's, Cogsworth says things to him that he completely disregards, but he does not disregard what Mrs. Potts says.
See, that's why I gave him a 4 on listens and acknowledges women specifically for Mrs. Potts. And like that might be too high, but like
what
she
did you
plays
score
a
him
very
overall.
Overall, he got a 40.
Okay, so I scored him real low then. Okay, I scored him a 36.
Which is fair.
So I could see a 4, especially in comparison to the other servants in the house. Yeah. Most of them are men that he interacts with, and he specifically listens to her the most. Yeah. So I agree with that. I think that can also be a 4.
But it's a lot of 3s. It's a lot of 3s, a couple 2s. Yes. Not love at first sight, so that's good that there's no negative in that. But it's nothing to sneeze at. He did not have a bad score. He just
he still did great. Anything close to 40 and up, I think, is a good score. That's a solid gentleman.
You weren't the worst. That's he did.
And that's not his story. That's not his story. Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. We can still like Adam. And I was a little disappointed, but I had to remind myself. I'm like, that's not what he's there for. It doesn't make his relationship with Belle any. Like, it doesn't make it bad. It just...
The story, he grows way more. Like, that's what, like... Yes. According to, like, Pacha is Pacha.
Pacha is just... Pacha is... Yeah. He swings everybody, and he did quite well for me.
Yeah. I might have scored a couple a little too high, if I'm remembering, but I ended up with, like, a 52. For me.
I gave him a 48. He got nothing... Yeah, he got nothing below a 3 for me. And there were only 2... NAs, calls out sexism.
It just doesn't really exist in that. Yeah,
sees the relationship grow.
Yeah, I gave him a 3 for that.
But they're married and they're great. I love the scene where the kids are like, well, we're going to stay up, right, Dad? Right, Dad? And he's a pushover. He's a pushover. And he's like, absolutely, you can stay up. But Mom and I are just going to talk about how much we love each
he handles
other.
It like, so well.
I'm deceased.
Yeah, it's so good.
Stinking cute. So they love each other. That is seen. But it's just they've already fallen in love. We see them well past that point.
I think he's 100% emotionally available completely when he talks to Cusco, when he talks like it just
in general, his heart is on his sleeve. Yes. I also think his ego is not fragile at all because of how much he has to go through. Like, can you imagine you're trying to save your town and now you're babysitting the person who has full control over that, who is now a llama?
Who is now
embarrassing.
A llama. He goes through so much. It's such a fascinating movie. I forgot how much I just adore this movie as like a great palate cleanser for any like kind of bad day.
It's so underrated, guys.
Yeah.
And I honestly was surprised because not that I don't think Pacha is an excellent person I love the movie, but I was surprised at how well he did because he does not interact with his wife a ton. But what he does interact with, it's great. Giving space and agency to her. He trusts her enough to be like, I'm going on a journey that takes days.
Yeah.
See you in a week.
And also leaves her with an evil woman and like trusts her to handle.
Like,
I think he says like they can handle themselves. Like,
and he's so confident about it.
Yeah.
He totally understands the abilities of his wife.
So good. I love that.
He also doesn't exist to be solely the love interest because that's not his purpose in the film. He did quite well. And I love that for him. And I'm so sorry, Adam, but who knew, man?
To be fair,
wow.
To be fair, Pacha killed in the social media poll.
Did he?
He did.
Tell me all. How'd he do?
He got a +1 from the social media, and
great.
He was 95% of the votes went to Pacha.
Prince Adam never had a chance.
Sorry, Prince Adam. So, and the Patreon gave both of them 2 points. So they did even out on the Patreon. Wow. But yeah,
but still.
I was like, social media knew too. Like Pacha is just more supportive.
Yeah. I think Pacha's the one that I forgot. Pacha is the Mulan of this.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. It'll be interesting to see because he scored really high last time. Him and David are going to be going head to head.
It's so funny that such heavy hitters ended up all in the upper
this happened last time too, where like I randomized these brackets and then they like one bracket is always like the weakest, like 1/4 of it, and then the rest are like heavy hitters. We're like, we'll see what happens.
Bob, but we'll talk about him later.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Wow. Next up, guys, interesting conversations for sure for both of these characters for incredibly different reasons.
Yes.
We have Carl from Up versus Shang from Mulan.
Yes.
So how did they do for you? Because I had a very interesting time with them because you have Shang who thinks his love interest is a man for most of the movie, and Carl who the wife has died at the point of when the majority of the movie happens. So these are two very interesting characters to talk about.
Yeah, it was very hard because I think Shang had a little bit of the benefit of just being around Mulan more in the movie.
Yes.
So Carl, you couldn't get I have a lot of 3s for him just because I didn't get. I knew what I was seeing. Like it's and
what they are to each other in that montage, but it's hard to see that outside of just the two of them.
Yeah. So it's hard to kind of like see how they existed in the world. That you get they're beautiful impressions. It's a beautiful montage.
What a beautiful relationship.
Yeah. But I did he got a lot of 3s, except he did get a 5 for does not exist to be solely a love interest. That's not the point of his movie at all.
Oh, no, not at all.
I did give him a 2 for emotionally available for Carl because most of the movie he spends not, but I think he was with her. So maybe I could bump him up to a 3.
I scored this strictly in relationship to her.
Okay. So
since it was supportive.
Yes,
since
that's
I did it
that's
for her. So he got, surprisingly, he did get a -2. He only got a -2. Because I think it was love at first sight. And I was wondering
about that. I really feel
love
like
at first sight.
Yeah.
I think he's this nerdy little quiet boy and this wild, outgoing
that's fair.
girl is like, come be my friend yesterday. Like, come right now.
Yep.
I think he was just enthralled by her and that whole scene. And then you see them obviously grow up together and get married. And I think that's really beautiful. And I love how much time they did spend together. Mm-hmm. So, but he did give a negative. Is not really a bad thing in this scene. Yeah. I think comparison to other falling in love at first sight.
Oh, yeah.
This one.
You still then saw them grow.
Yes. You still saw them. Yeah. It was still relationship, see them fall in love. I gave them a 5 out of 5.
I agree with that.
Because that's the whole montage.
Yep.
I actually scored him nothing below a 3, but there were 2 NAs because it just didn't really happen. Calls out sexism, caring to those important to the sweetheart. Those didn't see him. Oh, I also ego not fragile. I don't think that was really a thing.
You didn't get to see.
So I also gave him just a 3 for that as average. Mm-hmm. Everything was just pretty much 3s.
Yeah.
Or 5s. I gave him 1 4. But the 5s for me were gives agency to the sweetheart because
that's true.
You know she runs a relationship.
Oh,
just based on everything all of the big choices they make and everything. Like she's the one dipping him to kiss him at the wedding. Like she, So I did give him that where I think he happily lets her run their life, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
Which is why celebrating the sweetheart's success, I did give him a 4. I gave him above average because even though she is kind of running the show, in the moments where she starts to go a little downhill and things get rough, and in this minute long montage, he's the one who picks up the slack and goes, okay, you're having a hard time now and you've done this for me for years. It's my turn now. You're not feeling well. Great. I bought tickets. I'm having you live your dream.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to spend the entire rest of the movie just desperately wanting her to live her dream.
And celebrating her. Yeah.
If that doesn't deserve a minimum of 4.
Yeah.
I was I can't.
That's fair.
Like the poor guy. That was really it. Relevance today, I also gave him a 5 because I think this is a very important story for lots of ages, but particularly his age. I think it was really relatable that he's lived his whole life with this woman. Literally his whole life. Since age 5?
Yeah. It's so sweet.
And for her to be gone is he doesn't know what to do without her.
It's such a good,
and I think that's
movie.
I think it's a very relatable thing for people who even without a significant other, even like them retiring, what do they do now? What do they do without each other? What do they do without being empty nesters? What do you do?
Yeah. It treats it's such a unique version of love that you don't get to see, and the loss that you see, it's just so unique in it. And whoever storyboarded the montage.
Oh my gosh, deserves an Oscar by themselves.
Yeah, all the awards. I agree with a lot of the stuff that you said. So with some of the adjustments, I ended up with a 40 for him.
Yeah, he only got a 42 for me, which is still great.
Yeah,
still good, but definitely not in comparison to others. Because, like I said, just like you, it was either he solidly proved that he could do this, or it was 3.
But he did get 2 Patreon votes.
He did. Aww.
So he ends up with a total of 42. I was very excited about that. And Shang wasn't that much more.
44 for me.
Yeah, Shang was only 5 more for me. He was at 45.
Yeah, he's at 49 for me.
He only got 1.5. Shang only got 1.5 for me.
Yeah, he surprised me because since he's in so much of the movie, he did not get any NAs for me.
Yes, I agree.
He didn't get any of that because I think he truly had the opportunity to answer all these questions. He also did not get any negatives for me.
No, he definitely does not fall in love at first sight.
No.
Definitely does not have the goal to marry her.
No. But I do agree. Besides the Bechdel test, which we talked about with Mulan when we did her, that she passes, he only got 3 5s, and the rest were, he got a 2 in one category.
I gave him a 2 as well.
We'll do the highs then the lows.
Yes,
the 5s. Give space agency to sweetheart. He gives Ping so much opportunity. True. Once Ping has gained his trust, he's true. You can literally do no wrong.
Yep.
Which I do appreciate. And I like too that he could have, there is the really funny, you fight good, but he could have continued the conversation there, but he doesn't. She's gone home. She is talking with her family. She's been home. Yeah. And then he comes over to be like, oh, hey, you're kind of pretty.
So sweet. What impressed me with Shang was I gave him a 4 and maybe a 5 because
for what?
I gave him a 4 for calls out sexism.
I give him a 4 for cause of sexism too.
He does it at the end when the assistant to the emperor is like, she's a woman, and he's like, she saved China. Like he does it.
She saved China.
Excuse me. So he does do it.
He does, and he gets the opportunity to do it, and not many people do.
Yeah,
and I could even understand a 5.
Yeah, it's one of those where I'm like, he spends the whole movie like there's some like be a man, like there's little things like that.
Of course.
But when he is confronted with it, he does call it out. And I'm like, oh, and there's someone who got it.
Gave him a 4 as well. See them fall in love. I also gave them a 5.
I gave him a 4, but I could see a 5.
You see him grow to respect Peng a lot. And like, how many men in that camp do you truly believe that he would have risked his life to save just them by themselves if they were doing something absolutely wild?
I don't know. It's what
I'd be hard to believe.
Yeah, I'm hard to believe. Or is he just that person? Like, I don't know.
Who knows? Either way, love that for him. Love that either way. Both of those answers are correct. And then the last was does not exist to be the love interest. 5. He is not there to be the love interest.
Yeah.
He is there to be a general to rule China.
I agree.
They do not have a kiss. They do not even mention any sort of love. Like, she's like, oh, he's pretty.
That you get like, even then, it's mostly like Wushu talking about it.
Yeah.
And then like, that's what we discovered in our Mulan podcast. She has one look from the line when he takes his shirt off. And then it's like never. Yeah. Never. No, then it's just montage of exhausted.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But yeah. Everything else. Where was your, I am so interested. Where's your 2?
My 2 is in listens and acknowledges women.
Never mind.
But I could see it being a 3 because he does listen to her later. But as soon as he finds out, like it, there's that like hard line where when I could see it being a 3, but I did give him a 2.
Maybe this is where this moves around because I gave him a 4 and listens to acknowledges women because of the ending for him.
That's fair.
But I could see that knocking down to a 3. I gave him a 2 and admits fault.
Yeah, I could see that. I gave him a 3.
You know what? I'm going to bump him because I agree with you entirely. I think I'm going to bump him to a 3 to admits fault, but take him down from listens to acknowledge women to a 3. So it's still, the score is still the same, but I'm going to even out to what you did because I think you're totally right.
It was a hard where like he does eventually, but he spends a little bit like ignoring her, being like, there are people coming, and I think he's more mad. I don't think it's because she's a woman. I think he's just mad at her.
He's definitely hurt. I think he's hurt that the person he was closest to lied to him. Yeah. Like the entire time he knew him. Yeah. So I could see
I understand
that as well.
Shang.
Yeah, I get it, Shang. But I do appreciate that this movie does give the opportunity for him to confidently answer all these questions.
It was really nice to be able to be like, to have moments to think about for each one. And unfortunately, he doesn't get the +2 for other positive female relationships. You just don't see it. Does he have a mom? I don't know. Like, I don't know where she is. But Patreon gave him 2 votes as well. And social media gave him 1. So he does bump up by 3. He didn't need it.
No,
but
it
was close. It was closer than I thought. I
agree. And I think Carl, for someone who, I don't think this is a negative to him at all that he's being cut out of this, because you see how beautiful their relationship is.
You do. Like, he doesn't need this contest.
He doesn't need this. If you're going through like strongest marriage, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But it's just Shang had more opportunities to answer these questions, which got him higher scores in general. So Shang, you move on, but who, Shang, will you be up against? Let's find out.
Last one of
on the
left side bracket is Aladdin and Tarzan.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited to talk about Tarzan.
So this one also, I love how these kind of matched up on this side of the board, because it's so interesting to me that we had, starting off, David and Felix, literally their whole plot is to support the one they love.
Yep.
You have Pacha and Adam, who both are main characters in movies where there are multiple main characters. It is not just you doing your journey with love interest. Yeah. It is, Pacha and Prince Adam both were, split the plot with their other main characters. You have Carl and Shang, who had very unique circumstances with their significant others. Yeah. And then now you have Aladdin and Tarzan, which are both the main characters, very much so, and the title characters of their movies.
And I love both in the Renaissance too. Like, this is like, Okay. Aladdin.
This is great.
Aladdin did great. Like, they both did great for me.
Aladdin, at least as far as being close to a 40 and up, did not.
Oh, really? I gave him a 41. Well. So I might have been too nice to Aladdin. So
maybe I was too hard. That's also, and maybe I didn't do math, because that's also a very big possibility.
That's the fun journey we take on this podcast.
Yes. Tarzan did very well, though.
Tarzan did so well for me. I also love him, so I might have scored him too high. But I have legitimate reasons for most of the things that I have for him.
Did you want to start then with Aladdin?
Let's talk about Aladdin, because I'm interested in what was low for you for him. I did have 1, 2, but I can see how some things could get knocked down on my bracket.
I did this wrong. Okay, so I do need to give him a few more points. So he scored a little better on
good.
Math. So now he is on the better side of things. Great.
Okay.
So for low, calls out sexism, 1. He had multiple opportunities to be like, why can't she just
I gave him a 3 because I couldn't think of like a moment where he was personally faced, but 100% he could have. He could have totally done it when
literally
when he
at the end, the dad's like, I could just and he doesn't. Mm-hmm. So
that's fair.
1.
I agree with that. I agree.
I also gave him a 1 because celebrates sweetheart success, because it is never, oh, now you can do this, you choose me, hooray. It is bummer, I guess I'll leave. Like, once again, does not try to help him. So other than those, he got no 2s for me. Everything else 2 was
on admits fault
above. Ooh, I could see that. I gave him a 4 because he apologized at the end, but
he does
I could
apologize.
Maybe we need to meet in the middle and give him a 3.
I think he does apologize. You were correct. So I can
at the end, but does he apologize excessively? No. I watched that ending scene and like, he is not thrilled at all that the father comes up and he's like, that's a dumb rule. We could just change it. And he does not suggest the change rule.
See, Jasmine they could have, though.
Jasmine's the one who brings it up. And
that's why Jasmine's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many things that there were absolutely opportunities for Aladdin to make those comments and say those things, but doesn't.
Yeah.
But everything else, though, like other than those 2 things for me, what was low for you? And then we can go to his.
The low was admits fault for me. And then I had a lot of 4s and like, I did have a couple 5s. I did give him, I do think you see the relationship grow. Like, you do get a couple dates. I could see it maybe being a 4 just because it's like
I gave him a 3 because it was only a couple days and it was only like 2 dates.
Yeah, I think
it was one. Nope, it was 1 date. It was 1 date and I'm saving you from the police.
That's true. And then the carpet ride. So he has a date he has a date as himself, and then he has a date
I could give him a 4.
Ali. So I can see 4 for sure. Okay. I think he was decently emotionally available, especially like when they're talking about his life. Yeah, I think a 5 for that too. Like the few times that you do get to talk when they're alone, it seemed like he was very available.
No, he was ready and willing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I gave him doesn't exist solely to be the love interest a 5.
I'm at a 4, but I don't know why. It's his movie.
But maybe it is a 4 because
I think she exists to be a love interest for him.
Ooh.
But I don't know that
you're right.
He doesn't for her, if that makes sense. I think your instinct was correct on the 5. I think I need to bump him up for that. Yeah, I mean he doesn't get the Bechdel test, which is a huge hit to his score. Thing. Yeah.
He doesn't get other positive female relationships. I did not give him love at first sight. Did you?
I was curious about. I did do the negative on that, but I don't know if that's correct.
I don't know because he does see her and is like, she's really freaking pretty.
But he doesn't. I don't know.
I don't think his only goal is to marry her. I don't think that's true.
Well, I mean, that's why he wishes
very to true.
be. I did give him that negative. I can see taking off the love at first sight negative, but like his whole goal in the movie is to marry her.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he does help her. Like I think his first instinct isn't "I love you." It's like I'm going to help you get out of this.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
but listens and acknowledges women. He does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has no.
He has no
problem with that. Yeah,
give space, agency to her. I don't know if he does deserve a 5.
I gave him a 5 too, though. Like I don't
so maybe it is a 5.
It felt like he never at any point tries to take away her ability.
Very true. I think it's just because Jasmine has so little.
Yeah.
In the film, so maybe I'm thinking that. So
he did. I mean, he ended up with all those little like shifts. He ended up with a 42 for me.
Nice.
And the Patreon did give him 1.
Okay. Yeah. He got. I don't know if I'm doing math right. I think I am 36.
Yeah, I could see some of the negatives that knocking some of my 4s down to 3s or 3s down a little bit.
Yeah. But still, either way, for me,
mm-hmm.
Tarzan still won.
Oh,
and I obviously for you.
Oh yeah,
Tarzan still won.
Tarzan
even
won
with
for me.
The points and everything.
And he did win. Tarzan did win the social media poll.
Amazing, of course.
So, and it was 74 for Tarzan.
For you?
No,
74?
Not total. That doesn't exist.
I was like, that is possible.
Not possible.
Math,
I just gave him like 10s. 74% on the social media.
Oh yes.
Poll.
Okay,
so,
that makes sense.
You know, it made me feel better about my scoring and stuff because I gave.
With his scoring,
mm-hmm.
before we say the scores, I did want to say something really quick.
Mm-hmm.
He lacks a lot of things that other characters did. And so he scored very well, despite, at least for me, getting 3 NAs, which were just not the opportunity to do it, did not pass the Bechdel test or have other female relationships.
I gave him pass the Bechdel test. Turk and his mom talk. Turk and the mom talk.
I don't think we counted that last year because they're monkeys.
Did we not?
I don't know. I'll look at it. Oh, 8, excuse me. But either way, that's despite all those negative things that I gave him, he still scored very high. So that is a testament to him.
Yeah. Even if I take off Bechdel test, he still
does. Right. That's what I mean. Like he's still one of the highest scoring men on my sheet without getting any of those things.
One of the NAs I had was calling out sexism. I don't think he understands the concept of sexism.
That's never a thing that comes up. Agree.
What was your other doesn't come up for you?
He gives space to her when he doesn't. I could see that. There's no opportunity. He's either with her or he's doing other business. He's not like, yes, go off and do your thing. He's like, when he's with her, he's like, when he has time, he's like, I want to be with you all the time.
Yeah. But he definitely allows her to like take up space. You know what I mean? Like he allows her to take up space. Yeah, but it's not like
he's also just excited to learn about things. So that's why I gave him like a 3.
Part of it has nothing to do with her.
No, it's just like a 3.
Like excited.
Which is not a bad thing. A 3, it would still be a 3 even going off of what you were saying.
Yeah.
And I also gave him a 3 for admits fault because it's NA. It doesn't really.
He does apologize to Kerchak multiple times.
For also incredibly messing up, right?
Yes. Yeah. The stampede is technically his fault. And he owns up to it. But he doesn't own up to bringing death to the family by bringing the guns there and bringing all the humans there, right? Which, he doesn't until they're in cages. And at the end, he might. I don't know if he apologized. I'm trying to remember how he says goodbye.
I can't give him less than a 3.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to remember how he says goodbye to Kerchak because I think he may. I don't know. I know that he definitely owns up to mistakes he makes. I could see a 4 because he owns up to a couple of the mistakes he makes at multiple stages of his life, which is quite impressive, actually. Yeah.
So, either way, he still did really well.
Yeah. A lot of 4s. Yeah, he has a couple 5s. I did give him a 2 for
a lot of 5s.
Relevance to today. It's really hard to relate to a guy in the middle of the jungle.
I agree.
So I was like, I don't know how to relate to that. Yeah,
I gave him a 3, but maybe that was too nice.
You know, I did give him other positive female relationships.
I did not give him that either. So I'm going to go look to see what we counted last year.
With her, I don't think it came up
as much. But if we counted the Bechdel test.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Then we can't count. It's one or the other.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
and to be fair, I think the only thing that Kala and Turk talk about is Tarzan, which would not pass the Bechdel test. Which is not
passing the Bechdel test either.
Yeah.
So then no, they do not pass. It does not pass the Bechdel test either way.
Yeah. Still not a bad score for him at all. Even if I take that off.
That's why I was like, this is great because he's still. That's why I said that. I'm like, despite all of these so-called negatives and not getting opportunities, he still scored very, very well, which I think is awesome.
Well, that's why he listens to Jane like crazy. I think he's very emotionally available to her, which is surprising because he's like jungle man.
Well, I am not surprised by that because this is the only human he's talked to.
That's true.
So I think that's part of it.
I think that we see them fall in love. He's still got a lot of
5s. Yeah, for sure. See him fall in love.
Yeah.
Ego's not fragile because he doesn't know what an ego is.
At all.
He doesn't know what an ego is.
He does benefit from the fact that he doesn't know enough to actually have a fragile ego or know about sexism or like anything. So he's just such a little sweetie. But I ended up with all those adjustments with a 47.
Yeah, 45.
Great. And he
right
got
on it.
3 points from Patreon.
I am unsurprised that he
and 1 from social
moves
media.
On.
So without question.
No, he's great. He is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Like to really, honestly, to score this high without the Bechdel test, without positive relationships, with at least 2 NAs.
Yeah.
Is wow.
Bechdel kills you sometimes. Like that can really tear you down.
He's still one of the highest on my sheet with that. Like, get it, boy.
I love it. I love it.
So we have on the left side, just as a recap, next week we will discuss David versus Pacha and Shang versus Tarzan.
Ooh, that's going to be good.
I'm so excited.
It's so fun. That wraps up left side. Now we get to move to the right side of the pyramid.
Here we are, friends. Topping off our right side is another gentleman who got passed right through, and obviously no one is surprised. Hercules is against Mr. Incredible.
2 strong men. Like, can we talk about
very strong men?
The fact that they both have supernatural strength. Like, how did that happen? I love that.
I'm not sure. But I think we all know. I think we all know who's passing. I mean, I don't want to spoiler alert it.
Yeah. I feel like Bob. Yeah.
Well, you know what, Bob?
Yes.
As much as you did better than I thought you would.
He did do better than I thought.
He did significantly better than I thought he would in the second part.
Yeah.
You do get to see him with his family a lot. So there were a lot of things that you were able to answer.
Yeah.
For him, which was awesome.
I did give Bob / Mr. Incredible a 1 in ego not fragile.
Oh yeah, 100%. I also
fragile ego.
Yeah. I gave him a 2, but I could be talked down to 1. Absolutely.
It's like the whole movie is him trying
ego.
to find, boost up his ego with crime fighting. So
yeah, no, 100%. Yes, he did. Where he did really well is I think it does pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah, Violet and Mrs. and Elastigirl talk quite a bit.
And also other female relationships, he's very good with his daughter, and he's very good with Edna Mode.
He did get the plus on
I would be afraid to not be good with Edna Mode. So good choice, sir.
Yeah.
I also gave him, just to give him some positives, he did score. Sweetheart was one of the lowest scores. Supportive, he did score pretty high for me.
Yeah, he did too.
I was surprised about. Yeah. I was very disappointed with his Sweetheart, so I assumed he would do bad here. Yeah. And he really didn't. Besides, ego not fragile, a 1.
1.
I do agree with you, and I did move it there. But he did get 5 for caring to those important to Sweetheart.
Agreed. 100% agree. He loves his kids. He cares for them.
I also, the 2 other 5s I gave him were give space, agency to Sweetheart. He is fully understanding what Elastigirl can do.
That's fair. I had him at a 3.
Lets her do it.
But I think I was just mad at mad
at how as a human he's not that great.
Yeah. But, I could see that. I can definitely see that. Okay.
He also, they have that full conversation where the kids see them arguing, and he immediately is on her side, and they both come together to be like, we're having a discussion. We're okay. Yeah. And I really like that.
Don't be worried.
And I love that he was there with her. It wasn't talking over her. It was with her. And then he also doesn't exist solely to be the love interest.
Oh, 100%. This is not about that at all. No. So definitely got a 5 for me.
So those were the 5s. He did get quite a few. Almost everything else was a 3 except for relationship, fall in love, 4. I'm not sure why I did that.
Emotionally available, I put a 2 just because he spends a lot of it lying and
I could see that. I gave him only a 3 for that, but I could see him being being there as well. That makes a ton of sense.
Because if he would just talk to her, I feel and a lot of things would get fixed.
In Bob's defense, the second movie does give him a lot more.
Yeah,
the second movie gives him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam.
Give me another movie.
But totally 100% agree with you. A lot of this stuff would even be higher. Which still, I was kind of surprised that I scored him at a 45.
He got a 41 for me. So it's up there. The Bechdel and the positive relationship is 7 points.
Gives him that's a point by itself.
Yeah, that's a huge thing that can make or break a lot of stuff. Yeah. Which is surprising. Like Hercules does not pass the Bechdel test.
No.
So
unless you count, I think we counted, didn't we count the women talking about the hurricane? and all the disasters.
Oh
the two
my
women
gosh,
with
and
the pots.
Thebes, the dude does pass the mic. Oh, he does so much better than.
Yeah.
Right.
I gave him the 5 for that.
The plague and that's such a good scene.
Yeah, because it's the two women over the pots that are broken.
I do remember debating that with Meg last year because they're like talking in a group, but they do like.
But the two of them.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That is really digging deep to find that. Yeah, I did give him also a -2 at Love at First Sight.
Oh, 100% Love at First Sight.
I mean, if I could give him a -1,000 for Love at First Sight, I mean, the poor boy. The poor boy is just done for.
He can't. There's nothing he can do.
It's part of why we love him. That's fine.
Yeah. He did. I mean, but he got a lot of 3s. Like, he doesn't get some of the opportunity to do a couple of these things.
He got 2 NAs for me. He got calls it sexism.
Yeah.
Does not even have an opportunity to do it. Caring towards those important to the sweetheart. She has nobody important to her. So how would he even be able to show that?
Yeah. I did give him, that's wrong. I gave him a 3 for does not exist to solely be the love interest, but Meg is his love interest. It's not.
I gave him a 4.
He
because he still
is.
very much is. I gave him a 4 because if he did not have a love interest, he wouldn't have become a god in the movie.
It does spur the entire.
So that's why he doesn't get a 5 for me.
Okay, I feel better about my 3. I'll bump him up to a 4 for sure.
Either of them. But I don't think he deserves a 5 because he needs a love interest for this.
Yes, he does.
For this to work.
Yes. Admits fault. I'm trying to remember if he does that.
Couldn't tell either. I know he has some like heart-to-heart moments.
He does admit fault when he breaks the plaza.
Yeah.
Like that happened at the beginning. Yeah. He says sorry a lot.
Yes, he does. So is that like an average? Like a 3?
Maybe think of 3 or a 4. I can see like
but if it's just that, if it's the only time he owns up.
Yeah. I think he apologizes to Phil.
He does, but he's also like, I'm a wash up having a breakdown.
That's true. I don't know. He's having a whole other moment.
He's having, at
that point. I think he was emotionally available. I gave him a 5.
Yeah.
Like
I gave him a 5 too.
Very emotionally available. Mm-hmm. I do think you see his love grow, but I don't know if it's a 5 worthy because I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I can knock him down to like a 4 probably.
I gave him a 5, but now I'm like second guessing myself because
you do see a whole song about Meg falling in love with him.
That's true, and you do see like the date night.
So maybe do we do 4 because he does not fall in love with her. He just is in love with her. But
well, that's
you
like the love at first sight.
Love with her. Is that it?
Yeah.
So like maybe it's like a 4. Maybe it's a 4.
Because his is like instant love. Like
his is like that one. I literally can't function without her. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, what a sweetheart.
He got a lot of 4s for me though.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't get as many 5s, but a ton of 4s, which is what pushed him over the edge because it wasn't just you're average. It was. He is well above average.
Which 5s did you give him?
Just that one.
It's that one. Okay.
Yeah, he got emotionally available. Relevance to today, I think a really supportive himbo is great. Actually, his journey probably could knock down to a 4 or lower.
That's fair. I gave him a 3 just because like the demigodness of it all.
I need to knock him down from that 5. Yeah, that's too high. That's too high. Okay, we're making more sense now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Katie, you're right. I just wanted.
I know.
That level of just, I am so golden retriever human.
Oh, he's just, I think
any other things that you wanted to mention?
No, I think he's a solid. He's supportive when the movie doesn't have Meg's in it quite a bit, but I really feel like I was surprised by. I wasn't surprised. He's great.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
For the kind of stuff that he goes through with Meg and for her resisting being in love with and like lying to him, he like is full in.
Oh, he's so in. Like he's so in.
It's really sweet. So we ended up with a 47 for me, but Patreon gives him 3 points and social media gives Hercules 1. So he has a +4 to his score.
Who does?
Hercules.
Okay. And Bob has +1.
Yes.
So it's still okay. So it still passes, adding to my scores as well.
Yeah, and Hercules ended up with a 47 for me, so he still did beat Bob, who had a 41 for me.
Okay. So the gap is even bigger.
Yeah,
for me, the gap was tighter, so I was very scared because right now Bob was beating him by this one. But overall, Bob is a trash human.
Yep.
At least for the first part of this movie.
I agree. So okay. the Patreon gives you 3 for Herc, and social media gives you 1.
Yes.
So
so he beats Bob by 3.
Okay. Yes, he beats Bob in total by 10.
A lot, like 10 for you. So we're good.
Yes.
So
Hercules,
friends. Hercules passes. Yeah.
We're gonna start getting a little closer.
We are.
The bottom half of this, right? This side is a little close for me.
Bob made me scary.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of continuing on, we have Prince Eric and Arjun.
Yes.
Warrior Prince. So, for me, there was not as clear of a difference as I thought. There's still definitely a winner.
Yeah,
There's still
for me
definitely
too.
a winner. But actually, no, I don't know why I said that. There's 10 different. I don't know why I said that. There's 10 points different. There was a very clear winner for me. And I think we have the same. So I'm just going to dive right into it. Let's talk about Arjun.
Yes.
I want to talk about Arjun because he did very poorly in this section for me because I did relate it directly to women. Yeah. And this is not his story, friends. This is not his story. He is a warrior prince. That is his journey. His journey is to become a brave, heroic warrior, and he does that. But is he supportive to this woman that doesn't have a whole lot of screen time, that he doesn't interact with a whole ton? No, not really.
He wins her in a contest. So that also is like starting us off a little bit rough. And then the one other moment you get 2 moments with her. You get the moment where she's brought in unceremoniously to be part of a bet. And he was part of a bet too. So he wasn't really in control.
The whole family
was part of this bet.
This guy really swindled them hard.
Yeah. And she was involved and he did nothing. Like there was just no facial expressions, wasn't upset.
And he didn't do it to anybody. He let his whole family be just thrown out.
So definitely does not do well with wifey there.
No.
And then she does tell him off after, which I did appreciate as part of the narrative.
And he listens.
He does.
He sits there and he's like, He doesn't say anything to her.
Yeah.
But he's like, you can see that he's upset.
Yeah.
And that he knows that this was wrong, but like he didn't know how to handle it at the time. Yeah. Which, if you do watch the movie, it's tough. Yeah. It's what do you...
Yeah. No, like he couldn't... It was between a rock and a hard place at that point.
Yeah. It was a really tough situation, but it still doesn't make it great for supportive. So he got the most ones for me. Yeah. I think he did have the opportunity, because he's the main character, to do all of these things. His negative did get canceled out because I gave him a love at first sight for a negative, because when he does, I did enjoy that he did the fight first to see, because he knew he could do it, not because he didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
Like he walks up there because that was a cool challenge and not because I'm gonna marry her.
Yeah, it wasn't for her, but as soon as you see, it's like
he like sees her and literally they say, "Are you just gonna like Google each other all day?" Like so you're just making eyes at each other all day. So I did give him a negative for love at first sight, but I did give him a positive for positive female relationships because of his mom.
I did too. That evened out. And I did give him 2 5s.
Oh, I gave him 5. What were your 2 5s?
I did listen and acknowledge his women. He does listen to his mom.
Ooh, he does listen to his mom.
A lot.
I gave him a 2. That's really dumb. He does have quite a few heart-to-hearts with her.
So I did, and he does listen when he gets yelled at. Like 100%. He deserves it. Yes. But he does listen. Yeah. And then does not solely exist to be a love interest. Like that was not his journey.
5. Also 5. No, that wasn't his journey. That wasn't his journey. So he did get a 5 for that.
Yeah. Everything else is a 3, 2, or a 1 for me.
Agree.
Like that's where he was.
Yeah.
So
one thing I did want to point out that I did score him low, but I think that's kind of the point. His ego not being fragile. I gave him a 3 for it.
I did
because
too.
I think that's that one is kind of his journey. Is he is building that confidence and maybe a little bit of that ego and everything. So I don't think it's a bad thing that it's lower. Because that's part of his journey.
Yeah, I agree.
So I did want to mention that even though he only got an average on that, comparison to the other men we've talked about, I think for his character, that was a positive thing. Yeah. That helped move his story along. That was kind of part of his journey.
Yeah. He ended up with a 31 for me.
Yeah, 28.
Okay. And he did not win the social media vote. Everyone loved Prince Eric.
Well, I mean, nobody knows him. I do not blame
so
that
I
for
get
him.
it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Arjun. It was still very
He's a
interesting
hero.
to see.
Like he definitely is a hero.
Such a hero.
Yeah. Not so much a supportive sweetheart.
But I'd be so interested to see what everybody thinks about this. And I'm so glad he made it.
I am too. I'm happy we got to talk about what his movie is.
Like more about him. Like this is I don't know. It was very cool. But going on to Prince Eric.
Yes.
So Prince Eric didn't do, as far as in this context, he did do better than everybody else. Or better than the others. But he didn't do as good as I was hoping he would.
Yeah, I was not disappointed. Like, I'm not overly shocked. It just, I feel like...
Did I score him really low at a 31?
I gave him a 38. So...
Okay, so maybe
we can meet in the middle somewhere.
Let's see.
I did give him 1-2, which was... And
I didn't give him any 2. Oh, I did give him a 2.
I could honestly see it almost as a 1. But it does not exist to solely be a love interest. Yeah. I think his whole role.
Yes, I gave him a 2, and then I gave him a 2 for See Them Fall in Love because it was 3 days, and one of the days he was cursed.
That is true.
So I gave him a 2. Okay. And the first day, it was only the evening, and they had dinner together.
Yeah, you see a day of growth, which isn't a lot.
So I gave them a 2. Now. That does not, because I talked about Ariel. We talked about Ariel in this very own season.
Yes.
And I love them together. I
think
it's
great.
They're
love at first sight.
In love at first sight for both of them.
-2.
Don't even like whatever. I didn't give him I didn't give him a love at first sight.
Oh really? Because he sight. It's like love at first voice.
Yeah, he was like, "Are you her?" And then immediately was like, "Oh, you're not." He was still nice to her.
That's
but
true.
Was not interested at all.
Love at first sight, not so much. So but his whole goal was to marry her.
Him. Yeah.
So,
yes.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. So negative, that pushes him down even farther. That's really embarrassing for him. If I whole goal to marry her.
Definitely negative twos.
To marry the
girl with the voice.
A person with the voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That was his
So that
goal.
moves him down to a 29 for me. Please help me.
Okay. Okay. So
passed the Bechdel test. Gave him a 5.
It passes
ego, not frat.
Oh yeah. Does it pass the Bechdel test? Or does it not?
Did I just imagine that? Now
she does have a full she does have a full conversation with Ursula. That is true.
And is it all about?
It's about becoming human. I wouldn't necessarily say it's about a boy specifically.
Okay, because she does bring up boy stuff. So
she does, but I do think they talk about like her voice.
I'm gonna need some serious help if he loses those 5 points, man.
Okay.
Oh,
let's see if I can help.
No. Okay. So thank goodness, because oh my goodness,
it definitely helps.
That would have been embarrassing. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I do think he's emotionally available.
Oh, I can't do math.
I think he's 100% emotionally available as a human being. I gave him a 5 for that.
I gave him a 4 because he is emotionally available for only one specific person.
I know he talks to Grimsby about like wanting to be in love and stuff.
Yeah, but the girl who he's in love with, he doesn't even bother get to know. He just brings her into.
Yeah.
Like Grimsby needs to be like, why don't you take her out? She's right here. So that's the only reason why I gave him a 4 and a 5.
Okay, I can see that. Okay,
I did math wrong. So
okay, in a good way for him.
Yes, in a good way. So now he's up to a 35. I feel much better.
Okay,
Still not great.
Let me see where I'm at.
3 more because calls us sexism is an NA as well.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't. There's no chance for that. So.
38.
Cool. That's why I started at a 38. So that's...
Cool. Then I'm at a 38 now.
Okay.
So great.
Cool.
Great. I feel better.
Right.
I feel better.
Okay. Good.
I was like,
wow. What did you talk about?
Like, how is he so bad?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No. Still not great. Like with
comparatively,
me,
yeah.
5, like lots of 3s.
Where'd you put 4s? His 5?
The 5 was ego, not fragile.
Yeah, I agree with that. He does not.
5 I gave.
Yeah. No ego on that man at all.
No, and you see right away when he's embarrassed by that sculpture of him. He's like, "Oh my
god, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah." I agree with that. I think he does give agency. Specifically,
I give her a 4.
Yeah, specifically when he like hands her the reins, like he lets her be in like.
That is dangerous. Yeah, so I gave him a 4.
That is a poor choice, sir.
Poor choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else though, 3s and 4s. He just got a lot of 3s and 4s for me, and not very many 5s. So I think that's why he didn't score as well.
Yeah. Yes. He ends up with a 39 for me. And he did get a +3 from the Patreon. Nice. And a +1 from social media.
Right.
So his
how that
score,
wasn't needed.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah. So he definitely moves on. Arjun was a hero, not a supportive sweetheart.
And that is fine.
That is okay.
I'm so glad he made it to this.
Yes.
This next round, but moving on.
This next one, though.
Cracked me up. So, Fix It Felix and Milo. One thing I wanted to mention, because I rewatched bits of this to make sure I was remembering correctly.
Yep.
For Fix It Felix, there are lots of times that he shows love.
Yeah.
So that
I rewatched his bits of Wreck-It Ralph.
I knew there was, which is why I gave him at least a 3, but I'm like, I feel like there's more and I just can't remember. So, Fix It Felix is quite honestly annoyingly supportive.
Yeah.
Now, something I did want to say about him that I asterisked was calls out sexism. I gave it a flat 3 for either NA or average.
Yeah.
I started because I think as far as the character from above the table, if you will, is very feminist.
I agree.
Like it is very like calls out sexism because she is the typical macho man. Oh, she's written with the darkest backstory.
Like, so good.
You know,
so good.
like,
yeah.
Like, so above board, I think it would be a 5. But
well, that's why he doesn't specifically call. There isn't feminine, like there isn't sexism.
The actual
yeah.
thing,
yeah,
just
yeah.
a 3. So I did want to mention that though, which I thought that was very interesting about his character. So.
I rewatched it specifically because I'm like, there's no way he could be scoring this high.
He's annoyingly good. And that's like his whole thing. He's like annoyingly positive. Like his name is Fix It Felix.
Him and Milo are tied for me. So
let me see.
They are tied for me currently.
I have 41 for Fix It Felix, and Milo has a 53.
Okay, they both have 51 for me.
So maybe let's see which. Well, since our scores, because you have 51, let's do Milo first, just because we're so close.
Yes.
So
yes.
Let's just because we are so close, let's go through the scores together. He did get a 3 or the only NA, just to get that out of the way, which was a 3, was calls out sexism.
Yes, I agree with that.
But so admits faults 4.
I think he does enough to. Be like
not enough to be 5, but enough to be 4.
Yeah.
Gives agency 5.
5, definitely.
Great. Listens and acknowledges women 5.
Constantly.
He does that to the whole group. Does not exist to be the love interest 5.
Yep.
Emotionally available. I gave him a 4.
I gave him a 3, but I could see 4. 3 just because like he doesn't do as much emotionally with people. Like he does allow other people to be emotionally available. He's listening, but...
You're right. I'm going to give that a 3 as well to match you. I think that is correct. Relationship sees them fall in love. I only gave them a 2.
You know, I think
there is no point that you watch her fall in love with him.
You're right. I gave him a 4, but that's wrong. I definitely...
A pretty girl. Pretty girl.
Yeah.
He does that.
They have a molding of the minds. Like, you see them appreciate each other. So I think I can knock mine down to a 3. I definitely there's not a whole bunch of growth in a relationship other than like a molding
of quick.
Yeah. It's
and
very
the only
quick.
relationship you see is her being hot to him.
Yeah. You see more of a friendship grow.
Yes.
With the mechanic, and I've lost her name.
But yes.
The friendship. Yeah. The friendship.
For sure. You see more development with that than this. Ego not fragile.
Yep. His ego gets busted, so
and he's aware. He's aware, like he knows, which is why I think his ego isn't fragile. He's aware that he's very much the underdog. Celebrate success 5 because he immediately changed his entire motives for Atlantis to fit her.
You're right. I gave him a 4, but I think you're right. I think he is a 5 for that because he does nothing but celebrate every time that she discovers something or things happen.
And part of it is his like little nerd brain.
Yeah, but it's still supportive.
But still, caring towards those important to the sweetheart. I gave him a 5, but thinking back, maybe I only gave him a 4 because
I gave him a 4 because like you do see him care for her father, which is like the biggest person,
and like the people he walks by, and it's like, oh no, but
you don't see a lot of it, but you do see a couple moments where he does care about them.
Cool. Agree.
What was your relevance?
I gave him a 5.
I gave him a 4, but I could see it like it's not as relevant to like find an ancient city, but like him as a human being.
Him as a human being,
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right.
Pass the Bechdel test, it does.
Yes, it barely does, actually.
It barely does. That's also, which is funny because there's a lot of women in this movie. But it's because of that conversation, the gossip sesh.
Of Marge.
Other positive female relationships, I gave him a 2 because he does. But I also had to give him a negative because of...
I was about to say, did you give him love at first sight? Because I kept debating.
Handle it. Like, just even from the pretty girl.
Yeah.
We're swimming, what are you doing?
Oh, if like the mask up and like you have that moment of like them. Yeah, you're right.
He can't function for a second. Yeah,
that's true.
And his is very much you're a pretty girl, and he is like, and hers is like, what are you? Yeah. So that moves me around to a 51.
Yeah, I'm a 51 still. All that balanced out to 51.
So 51, same. So he's a solid 51. Moving on.
So Fix It Felix. What were your lowers? Because he's at 51 41. For me. He's at 51 for me.
Oh my gosh, amazing. So he got quite a few more NAs.
Okay, maybe
he wasn't in it.
Okay.
So admits fault. I gave him a NA like 3. So, you know.
Yeah, I think I only gave him a 4 because he like owns up to like what happens to Ralph, but he doesn't like necessarily like he doesn't have a full moment of it. You're right.
No,
I think that's a 3.
So yeah, I don't think it's below a 3.
Yeah.
Celebrates sweetheart success. I don't think there's really an opportunity to do that. He's just in awe of her. She hasn't, you know.
She doesn't have like a success moment for him to see. No. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So that's just like a not given to him. That's not his fault. You know, if she does something cool, he is the first one there.
Yeah.
But you just don't see it in this film. So that's why I gave him that. And then caring towards those important to sweetheart NA because like who's important?
Yeah, there's no
at this point.
There's no point in it.
That's the whole point because she has the darkest backstory.
Yeah.
So he did get 3 NAs, which is what knocked him down quite a bit.
Okay. I mean, he listens to women. He doesn't
acknowledge women. I gave him a 4.
I gave him a 5 because like she completely takes charge and he lets her like without a second thought. He also
is in love with her the moment he sees her.
Oh yeah, -2 love at first sight.
I knocked him down.
Hardcore. That's fair. That's
I knocked him down one because he's also like just
pining the entire time. Yeah.
Which is kind of stinking cute. He does pull it together sometimes.
Yes.
But. It cracks me up. I love when she's like, "Can you hit yourself in the face again?" It's still red.
That's so funny. It's so funny. That whole like the Nesquik.
Yes.
Him trying to hop out of it. Just so sweet. I do think he's 100% emotionally available. I gave him a 5.
Oh yeah, I gave him a 4. I can give him a 5.
Totally.
I only give him a 4 because he is from a different game and I don't think he expected it at all.
Yeah. That's fair.
So, but I could totally give him a 5.
Does not exist to be solely a love interest. Like, not his role. He's more built for Ralph.
5.
Yeah,
he's not intended to be a love interest. She's not intended to be a love interest.
No,
either.
It's just
so
like,
funny that they just are in love together.
Love it. Ego not fragile. Like completely smacks him and it's fine. Like he's totally cool with it.
If anything, he gets frustrated with how good he is.
Yes.
Like when he can't get the jail bars to break because he's just making them stronger.
Why do I fix everything? Like, it's
if anything, he's like upset that he's so perfect, which is like says a lot.
It's really sweet. The relevance to today, I gave him a 3.
Same.
Okay. That's just like it was both like him as a person, a character, like it feels relatable, but his situation, not relatable at all.
I gave him a 2 for sees them fall in love.
See, I was debating with that because he does like instantly fall, but you see her kind of like have moments of awe of him.
So is that a 3?
Yeah, I think I need to knock mine down because I think
I can bring mine up.
He instantly does, but you do see her like start to fall a little bit.
Yeah, in her own curmudgeonly way.
Yes,
you're a dynamite.
You're a dynamite gal.
You're a dynamite gal. Oh my gosh, she like loses and kicks him out of the car.
Yeah.
So then bringing that up, he got nothing below a 3 for me. He just got quite a few 3s.
Yeah.
I think really what knocked him down for me is only because he doesn't get those opportunities to fully, because celebrate sweetheart success and caring tons
would instantly.
They'd be 5s.
Yeah.
If he was given the chance to do those things.
Yeah. So he's at 46 for me after some of that. I had a couple more 5s. I'm like, I was too much. Like, yeah, okay. 46 for me.
So still annoyingly great. Still annoyingly amazing. What did Patreon and
so that's what I'm saying. Even if they were tied, Milo would have gone through because of Patreon. Because the Patreon gave him 2 points and Felix got 1. Ooh. And then social media gave him another point. So nice. Milo would have gone through regardless because of our patron and social media quizzes. But So
social media also went for Milo?
Yeah, they did. They loved. There's a couple even like comments of like Milo's amazing. I'm like, he's great. He really is.
Yes.
He's really lovely.
Fix It Felix though, still
I was shocked.
Overall is great.
Like that's a great score compared to some people who were in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh.
Well done,
and
sir.
Overall his score for me was quite high.
Yeah.
In comparison to some others. So Fix It Felix, we're sad to see you go, but like, well done.
Yes.
My dude.
Yes.
Well done.
And we have one more on the right side, and it is the two blondes. So
yes, we have two blondes, my friend. And for those who can't see me, which is everyone, I am wearing ColourPops from the Disney Designer Collection. Lip color Phoebus. Because I don't know how he's going to do today. So
I'm curious because what's interesting to me is because of patron and social media votes, they are tied because of that for me right now. For me.
Yeah.
So
I
love Phoebus.
What were all the votes?
So Christoph did well for the patron votes. He got 3 patron votes and 1 social media. So he won social media. And Phoebus got 1 Patreon vote.
So Phoebus has 1 point for him and Christoph has 4 points for him.
Correct. So I'm really interested in these two because right now they're tied because of the extra
because
points
of that.
For me.
Amazing. They are absolutely not tied at all.
Okay, good. So help me because maybe I was too nice to one of them or not.
They were closer before the votes.
Okay,
not that close, but still they were only like 5 points apart.
Okay,
5 points apart. 5 points apart for Kristoff.
Yeah, they were 3, so they were like 3 for me.
Okay, so we were still pretty close for how tight they were.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're.
So you have Christoph winning initially.
Yes.
Okay, I did not.
Yeah,
but I also love Phoebus. So and Kevin Kline.
Well,
so.
the thing that gets Christoph is they pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah, that's very
Phoebus,
very true.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
and that's 5 whole points that he does not get.
Yeah, which is amazing. Like for him not getting the Bechdel test
and still doing very well.
Yeah, yes, that's incredible.
Yes, that's another one. Same, right up there with Tarzan, where it's Bechdel test, those 5 points not passing, and
you still
still doing very well. So Phoebus still. Excellent job. So what scores total? For Phoebus, I had, so we can decide who to tackle first. I had a 43.
I had a 44.
Phoebus. Oh, perfect. So then maybe he's the one that we go to first.
Okay.
Because Christoph, I had a 48.
Yeah, I had a 41.
Let's see what the one.
Okay.
Excellent. Let's see what the difference is in Phoebus because that will take 2 seconds.
Yes.
Admits fault. Well, here, first of all, I have nothing below a 3 for him.
Agreed.
And I only have 3 5s.
I have 4 5s. So I think I found where it was.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Admits fault.
I gave
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Give space agency.
4.
3.
Oh, okay. 4 for me.
I give him a 3. Okay.
That's fair.
So that's a different one. That's a different one. Highlight it. We're gonna go back because I just want to count it down. Cause of sexism.
3. Okay.
Excellent. Listens, acknowledges women.
5. 4. Ooh. Okay. I gave him a 5 for that.
How many women does he talk to?
Oh, just her. So that's fair.
4. That's why I gave him a 4.
That's fair.
There is no other women that he interacts with.
Yeah.
Does not exist to solely be the love interest.
Give him a 3.
3.
Because he does just roll.
He kind of is 3. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we twins. Okay. Emotionally available.
4.
Look at us. Okay.
Yep.
Relationship grows. Season fall in love. 3.
5. Oh, I gave him a 5. But I could see it being, I could knock him down. I do see they have stages.
I could give him a point.
The banter, you see
it's banter.
You see different stages of it. It's really quick.
I just didn't know if it was enough to be more than average, which is why I gave him a 3.
That's fair. I could
be talked up to a 4.
I'll bump mine down to a 4. I see that.
So I'm up to a 44 now. Yeah. Okay, and we'll talk about agency sweetheart in a minute. I just want to keep on. Okay, that one was easy. Okay, so one more. Ego not fragile.
5.
5.
Yeah.
Excellent. Love that. Celebrate sweetheart success.
3.
4.
Ooh.
I could be talked down.
That's it just doesn't
Why did you
really
give him a 3?
It doesn't really come up. I guess the only success is her fighting off the guards. So I guess he celebrates what a woman, but is that celebration? I don't know. I don't know that he gets the opportunity.
I think you're right. I think it's a 3.
Yeah, I don't think he really gets the opportunity. I think he would 100%.
Oh, 100%. I just don't think he's given the opportunity. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. Caring towards those important sweetheart.
5.
5.
He cares for Quasi.
How many people would put up with Quasi who is in love with her?
Yeah, clearly is not a fan of him. He could just leave.
And Phoebus is the one who brings them together a lot.
Yeah.
So, okay, love that.
Yeah.
Relevance today.
4?
I don't know why I gave him a 5.
I don't know why I gave him a 4. It's him as a human being, I don't know, just he seems someone, he aged really well, which is part of that relevance to today.
Yes.
But someone trying
to... I am going to knock him down from the 5.
I think a 4. I'm going to stay with my 4 instead of like a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to say 4.
Because I think him as someone learning what is right and wrong through the movie is very relevant. Like
100%.
Him learning to fight against and go against orders.
Yes.
I think it's okay. I feel better. Like that's
I agree.
The 4. I didn't get any, like he had no pluses or minuses for me.
No.
There's this he does okay, let me recount.
Then back up to gives agency to Sweetheart. I gave him a 3 because he maneuvers her and does not give her agency for the first half of meeting her multiple times. Because he tricks her into going into places to give her freedom that isn't freedom, and she gets mad at him for it.
True. That's I debated with myself on this one because technically he speaks for her to save her. So but she doesn't ask him to do it.
No, she coerces her into the church.
Yeah.
Now it's all for good reasons.
Well, it's not. But it is not his honest moral
choice.
Integrity. Great, but he does physically speak for her when she doesn't want to do sanctuary. Yeah.
Uses her name when they go to get her and to tell them things. So I gave him a 3 because I think he was given the opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely not lower than a 3.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like
he's he's a very good. Okay. So he's at 41 for me now.
42. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Super close. Cool. Super, super close. So then the biggest gap is Kristoff because now you have a 41 for him.
Yeah, right now they're tied at 41. But he has more Patreon votes, so he will go through.
Yeah. So
I'm so sad. Phoebus is great. I'm sorry.
With sass.
Flynn got kicked out round 1.
I know.
Phoebus is getting kicked out.
I
know. I
had Flynn and Kristoff going head to head, alas.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Kristoff got a lot of 3s for me. And maybe that's where I had a lot of debates about like things he did and didn't do in this first movie.
Kristoff, and maybe yes, because the second movie he'd be like 5s across the board. Yeah, and maybe this is where I go a little off, but and I need to be talked down. Mm-hmm. But for the 5s, it does pass the Bechdel test, and that gives him a lot of points.
Yes,
and he got only 3 5s for me.
Ooh, he got 1 5. Other than that, for me.
Oh, nice. Ego not fragile. 5.
I don't know. That. Yeah, I didn't know. I couldn't figure out a moment where that happens in this movie, where his ego is tested.
They literally talk about it in the song, where they're like,
in his family song.
He's not very manly.
That's right.
He's on his own.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He has a full conversation with Anna at the beginning where she's like, size doesn't matter. And
That's right.
Like
That's
lots of those kinds of innuendo conversations.
Yeah.
So, and he just kind of rolls with it. She makes fun of him for having...
just tears him down.
Yes. She has a whole conversation about like, your family is rocks. And he's like, yes. Yeah. He also talks out loud to a reindeer as the reindeer constantly. So I'm like,
I could put that in the ego category. Yeah. Okay. I agree. I forgot about the family teardown of this man in this movie.
Yes, the poor guy. And then literally the whole song is literally that he's a fixer-upper. Don't worry about Anna. And then it switches like maybe she's a fixer-upper. I don't really know.
Yes.
The 2 other 5s he got was one of them is very interesting because does not exist solely to be the love interest. I gave him a 5. 3. I gave him a 5 because Hans is.
True.
Hans is the love interest. He is not the love interest until the last 5 minutes of the film. And even then, she goes against it. So is it a 5 or is it a 4? I don't think it's a 3 because
I agree. I think you're right. I gave him a 3, but because he is put in to be her true love. Like that's his role.
And even then, it's not even until there is no true love. He doesn't even say I love you.
Yeah, because he actually doesn't fix it. Yeah, because he doesn't fix her love for Elsa fixes it. So okay.
So the true love is not a thing in this one between them. It's the true love between sisters.
Okay. I can see that.
Which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting.
Hans is
100% built.
100% there to be the love interest.
Yeah, which is great when he just betrayal. Like it's great. I love that.
The last 5 was give space agency to Sweetheart.
I gave him a 4. I think
I can say 2.
Yeah, I think he definitely gives.
He definitely lets her struggle a lot. Yes. He lets her do a lot of stuff and then kind of giggles about it, and then it's like, "Can we now do it my way? Thank you." Okay, great.
I don't think he was really given a chance to call out sexism in this movie. Is that correct?
Nope, I gave that an NA. I also like NA3. Admits fault too. I gave him an NA3.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I can't think of any times that he's like straight up sorry to this. But also like, what did he do?
Yeah, he doesn't really apologize. Yeah, there's no. He didn't do anything right. Yeah, you're right.
He's more of like curmudgeonly. He doesn't do anything like really negative to them.
I could see that.
The other 3s that I got for him were celebrates sweetheart success and caring towards others important.
Yeah.
Which in the later movies,
star
5s. But for these, I'm like 3s.
Yeah, he's not really given a chance to do anything for Elsa. He just knows that she's causing a storm and there's not interaction with her.
Right. Whereas in later movies, you see him planning things with her.
Yeah.
Like he plans a whole birthday party with Elsa.
Which is so sweet. I love that so much.
So, you know,
I did
meaning that they talk outside of it.
I did give him a 3 for emotionally available. I think he spends a lot of the movie attempting to be not available.
I gave him a 4 because the only reason I gave him a 4, not a 3, because I debated really heavily between those 2.
Yeah.
Is because when he opens his heart to that, it is floodgates.
That is true.
It is.
That is true.
Oh, I'm taking it. Oh, shit. I'm taking this where.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I am stuck with her now. I can't get her out of, I can't not help her.
Okay.
Like goes back for her, like risks his life to go back and save her. And
like, you know, he becomes it, you know, it's kind of there. There's just not a moment.
Is it a 5? No.
That's it. There's not a moment where he and her have that emotional, because he's about to die.
You see him care for her a lot. You don't see her as much. You see her come to the realization because at the time, in her defense, she's in love with Hans. She has no idea. She doesn't know what love is.
She definitely doesn't like try to play both sides. She's like, I'm there. Yeah, like good for her.
And it isn't until Olaf's like, Kristoff loves you.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
Like, wait a minute. Wait, he is really great. Like, oh my gosh. I just traveled with him for days to find my sister. Like, what? So I did give him a 4 only because of the floodgates. I don't think it's less than a 3, but I totally understand a 3.
Yeah.
Since you see him having those moments of looking at her and falling for her very slowly. And you definitely see it more from him than you do from her.
Yes, that is very true. I am up to a 48.
Oh, we're the same.
Okay. So I think I agree. I think I was a little too harsh on some of the things.
No, it's tough. It's tough with these, especially these guys with like Flynn.
Yeah.
And where it's like, you know how great they become.
Yeah.
And it was tough scoring things low, like these 3s and these NAs where I'm like, man, in later movies, these would be way higher. He'd be scoring way better. But overall, we do have, alas, Phoebus for how much he's in and not passing the bachelor test.
Not even the main guy character of this movie.
My boy, you did excellent. You did amazing.
Yeah, very impressed. I'm sad to see him go because he is a good character.
Yeah.
He's a good heroic character, really.
He really is.
Like, maybe that's where he fits, you know? Like, we didn't do Quasi for this. We did Phoebus.
We didn't do Quasi. And we could have done Quasi, but the reason, at least I didn't want to do it, does not end up as the love interest.
No, he wasn't to her ever.
Could be, no.
Yeah.
No, and that could become problematic.
Yeah, I agree.
Digging into that of the one-sided. So I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, but Kristoff does advance.
Ooh.
So on the right side, we now have our Elite 8. So the right side is Hercules, Prince Eric, Milo Thatch, and Kristoff. Now we have Kristoff and Milo going head to head next week.
Oh my goodness. How random. 2 absolute opposites.
Yeah. And to recap left side for all y'all who forgot, we have David, Pacha, Shang, and Tarzan.
Yes.
So it's going to be a good time next week. I'm very excited.
I'm excited. And next week, we have our first guest.
Yay!
So
very excited.
Very excited to have our first guest. So we will talk all about her after this podcast. Do we say it now?
We can say it now. Yeah.
Marissa Longo. Excited to have her on.
Yep.
And we'll give you deets this week in leading up to it, but we're very excited because as India mentioned earlier in this episode, things are going to get tighter and tighter as we get closer to these final 2. So having another person's opinions and ideas. I know last time we had people swing in our votes.
Yeah, it was great.
So I am very excited to see what Marissa has to say and what you guys have to say. Remember, votes count. Votes in social media do count, but votes for patrons count more.
Yes.
That is weighted higher. So if you want your vote to count a ton, be sure to head that way.
Yeah, become a patron and vote before Wednesday evening.
Yes, this will be a little tighter turnaround.
So we got to make sure, but we want your votes because it's really fun to see. Yes. It's also kind of validating sometimes. Like, okay, it's not just us. Like that you.
Yes, it's not just us. It's not just us.
Yes.
Yes. Agreed 100%. Please do. I don't know if it's been fun. I hope you guys have been enjoying this Maiden Madness, and we
see what happens
next week, friends.
Elite 8 next week. We have Elite 8. We'll see who makes it to the Final Four. So join us next week for that, and let us know what your brackets look like. How messed up are they? Because mine was messed up when Flynn got kicked out. So completely messed up.
Same friends. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Damsels in Dialogue. Join us next week as we are joined by the fabulous Marissa Longo to see which of our Elite 8 make it into the Final Four.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you can help us reach even more listeners by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a rating or comment on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you are listening.
If you want to join us for even more discussions about all of the women we covered in this season, head over to our Patreon. There you can support the podcast and unlock an entire library of our exclusive after-hours video podcasts with new episodes arriving each month. You can also unlock research notes, bloopers, and more.
Follow us on social media and at our website on damselsindialogue.podbean.com. Until next time, this has been Damsels in Dialogue.
Have a nice day.
This podcast episode is sponsored by Royal Princess Parties, LLC, and is produced by Hello Out There Audio, part of Hello Out There Productions.